Right. You've seen the movie.
I
Am
have.
I racist? This
Yeah.
is Matt Walsh's Daily Wire follow up to What is a Woman? It
Yep.
is a satirical mockumentary on woke culture, the race grifting culture, the anti racism, which comedically does look an awful lot like racism. But hey, I'm but a humble non-racist, so I wouldn't really know
Well,
about anti-racism. That's new to me.
you're you're not allowed to say that you're not racist, by the way, because you're white.
I know this is the thing. They get you, don't they? They say if you don't think you're racist, you're racist. You're like, right. So I'm just racist by default. Yes, right. That's clown logic. How do you define racism? Well, racism is defined by something, blah, 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 about racists. Right. Okay. Yeah. If
Yeah,
you're going to
it's
define it using the same word, it's a cyclical definition, i.e., you're not defining anything. Anyway, I digress. You've seen the movie. I've not had a chance yet.
well
It's not
when
out
you
here in the UK, so
when
I'm going to have to find it, get a hold of a copy somehow.
if I can find
Give
you a
us a review.
screener, I'll send it along. But no,
Yeah, it's
the
fine.
review
Give us a review.
the review is this: is that the film is worth your time. It can be infuriating. It's a little slow to start. But my biggest criticism was that it got going very slowly, but it was very purposefully plotting, and I just don't appreciate that kind of a slow start. But it ended up being a slow burn, and it just kept building on itself. Matt Walsh actually went through all the trials and tribulations to be certified as a DEI expert, believe it or not. I know he even got a laminated card and the whole 9 yards. Like, he took online courses to get there.
Amazing.
But he approached it with like a genuine, curious mind, which I thought was extraordinary. And he obviously done just tons and tons of research, and he, went to the peak of Grift Mountain and hung out with the chick that deleted her Twitter. Actually, they all deleted their Twitters. Every single one of these people that he was with,
Robin
deleted their Twitters.
DeAngelo.
Yeah,
The woman
the
who
Grift Queen.
charged for like $12,000, $15,000.
15, yeah, she was 15 grand, but the first workshop he went to was 30 grand. Yeah, and then I think he paid somebody 50.
Right, ladies and gents, I am starting a brand new business. It's called Mr. H Race Diaries, or something like that, and you've got to pay me 50 grand, just because, sorry, that's what I'm worth, to get told that you're racist, please.
Yeah. What's so funny is
My God.
Yeah, it's all incredibly well, not all of them, but many of them are just very liberal women, and they all
Of course, they hate themselves.
They come from and they try to, give all these degrees or these certifications or whatever to throw around the, from authority argument stuff. But regardless, we'll move on. The film itself, other than starting slow, is very informative. It is done in a documentary style, and it sandwiches the real material in between two kind of fantasy moments in a diner, where he's trying to decide if he's racist or not because he was confronted by a lovely lady serving him coffee in the diner, and she's black, and he's like, "How do you take your coffee?"
Black as coffee, you might say.
Yeah. And then and she says, "How do you take it?" And he like had an existential moment there, and he's like, "Yeah, it was really funny." So by the time you get to the end of it, he just says, "Well, I'll take it." She says, "Black, right?" And he says, "Yeah." I mean, it was an interesting sandwich in between, though, because everything that happened was kind of like he's discovering all this circular logic and this entire industry that's built around, well, much like pharmaceutical industry, that's built around not actually solving a problem. They sell you more problem. That's
well, no. The entire race grifting industry. So the demand for racism far out exceeds the supply of racism. So they manufacture racism to supply to themselves, basically. Nonsense.
One of my favorite parts is he interviews a man who researches and writes books about the fake hoax or the hoax race crimes or whatever, the hoax hate crimes. That's what it is. Hate crime hoax was the name of the book. and
Right.
he brought him in to talk to him, but he was coming at it from the the race grifting side of things. From well, but the guy is sitting there and he's like, no, this doesn't exist. This is not a problem. He said, you might have 7,000 a year reported, hate crimes, and of that, most of them are fake. He went on, gave him a bunch of statistics and numbers, and he was a light skinned black man just telling the truth about crime statistics and this fake hate crime bologna sausage, highlighting, of course, the juicy Smolier bologna sausage and the Bubba Wallace bologna sausage, because the garage pool looked like a noose to him. So it's just that kind of nonsense that he approached with that. But everybody there, he kind of just undercut them and made them look foolish. He's brilliant at making people look foolish, and he does what I do, just sits quietly. No,
yeah, exactly.
No,
You're not letting people look foolish. You're giving them the opportunity to out themselves.
Yeah,
that's what it is.
Yeah. So I just sit and I'm quiet and I wait for you to finish talking. And if the silence is awkward enough, they're going to keep talking. So again, it's just the guy allows everybody to get as much rope as they want. But it was
so as a film. So because we can talk about race grifting, till the cows come home. But as a film, would you say it's a good follow up to What Is a Woman? Where does it rank comparably to What Is a Woman?
I think it is an excellent follow up. I think it might be slightly better. Because I mean, he learned.
I've heard the opposite of that, actually.
Well, he learned from the other thing, right? He learned from doing the What Is a Woman thing, right? So that he could fit in with these pseudo intellectuals. So he basically based his character off of that he had to become, based off one of these pseudo intellectuals. The guy, the mousy looking guy, that the beta male.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah. So, but ultimately, the first act is slow. The second act is where it builds. You are going to hear laughs. People are literally laughing at the race grift bologna sausage. They're just in the theater. I mean, it gets to a certain point where everybody's laughing. Even if you went in there and you are, super progressive, you can't help yourself. I think people are just sick and tired of it, and they're willing to laugh at it, mock it, and everything else. And so, as a film, it's structured well. I can see where somebody would find What Is a Woman more in their wheelhouse, but I think by doing what he did, I think he really went about it the right way. And I don't know that it could have been any more impactful. Is it a good movie? Not particularly. It's not a great film. As a film, it's average. I think my opinion of it is sliding back toward the center, about 5. It's an average film. 1 out of 10. Right. So it's about 5 to 6. But mostly that's because the pacing was not great. And again, I understand why. And Mike Cat, you are correct. He is definitely, not an alpha male, not in any way.
Yeah, no one says Matt Walsh is an alpha male. Jesus.
Yeah.
It couldn't be further from an alpha male. But we're not talking about that. We're talking about whether the film is good or not. We can talk about race scripting another time.
Yeah. He is, like I said, his approach, I think, was winning. It was presented as a documentary. There is a lot of fact and a lot of a consistent approach that you would do for a documentary. I enjoyed the conversations. It is worth seeing, but it's not high praise.
Well, good. Well, let me pick your brains then a little bit. Mm-hmm. So, do you think, because this did relatively well in the States side,
top 5?
Do you think it will be impactful or as impactful as What Is a Woman? Because that was a fairly impactful film, actually, on the sort of general state of affairs societally in America. Do you think Am I a Racist will be as impactful? Or not?
I do. I think it'll be impactful. Maybe not as impactful, but it does the same thing. It proves the ridiculousness of the substance of the pseudo intellectual worldview. And I'll even suggest this. I know it's going to be impactful because Rotten Tomatoes is doing its level best to not allow people to review and provide those reviews. So they know that it's impactful, they don't want anybody to review it. In fact, they had 5 reviews up about it, like within the context of the weekend, which is normally their minimum threshold for their critical thing, but none of their top critics bothered to review it. Like, they're staying away from it because they don't want it to get any wind in it.
Jeremy Johns reviewed it.
Yeah, I know.
He's one of their top critics, I think.
Yeah, but he got absolutely beaten back by the machine. The machine did. Yeah, the machine did not like him for it. Let's just put it that way. And more people are up there. Jeremy John said, it made me laugh. I mean, they have tons. Right now, the critics' reviews, if you look at them, Mr. H, on Rotten Tomatoes, it says view all, and it says 0. Even though there's reviews there, Rotten Tomatoes says there's 0 reviews. Yeah,
brilliant.
So it's a wild thing. I know it's going to be impactful because they know it's going to be impactful. They don't want it to have any oxygen. So yeah, and it's. Well,
I mean, it's obviously it's really well received. I mean, 99%.
Yeah.
99%.
Yeah.
That is actually unbelievably high.
Yeah, they're scared to review it. I actually titled one of my videos that. I think one of my 6-minute dailies. I'm like, they're scared to review this film. They're terrified.
So there's literally no critics in at all.
Yeah, scroll down. There, you just scroll past. Those above the audience reviews are the actual critics reviews. But see, it says view
0.
all 0.
What?
Yeah, suppression.
You what?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Crazy, huh? And I think somebody even pulled their review because there were 5. Now there's 7, but there's a name missing now.
That is absurd.
Yeah. I wonder if they got too much guff and bailed. But you want to know who's calling them out, though, Mr. H.
Yeah, libtards.
Matt Jarbo.
Yeah, well, that fat fuck doesn't matter, does he? He's an absolute loser. Bloody copyright claiming, flagging people down, being a fat fuck dipshit.
Yeah, he's not
scumbag.
Yeah, but
wow, that's eye-opening for Rotten Tomatoes. That's crazy.
Is it though? Is it? Didn't they just a few weeks ago? You remember they changed their scoring system, right? So
yeah, yes. No, it still is crazy because it's just so brazen.
Yeah,
yeah. I think it's if we're still you should still be shocked by brazen behavior like this. If you're not shocked, then we've crossed the Rubicon way too far, and it's past the point where it's not even worth talking about anymore, right? So no, everyone should still be shocked by this brazen behavior. This is insane. Well, there you go.
Yeah. So
okay.
Will it have an impact? Yes. Maybe not at the same level of What Is a Woman, but I think people are falling out of love with a lot of these things, including corporations, because now the Human Rights Campaign, which has that that weird score that they give corporations now, the HRC. They're being dumped by corporations left and right because of just the nonsense. So I think the tide is turning back.
The thing about the whole race grifters is it's just so so there was that I can't remember the guy's name, but he's pretty famous race grifter.
Ibram X Akendi.
Yeah. The guy that can't even define what racism is. I mean, he had a huge grant given to him to study just like racism and stuff, and it was like, they provided nothing at all of value. So I think the gig is up on these kind of people. I mean, BLM, for instance, they were outed as just massive fraudsters buying mansions up left, right, and center. It's crazy. I think the race grifting gig is up. It's just nonsense, just absolute nonsense. And if you really want to deal with the cold hard facts of the matter, white people are actually a minority across the globe.
Yeah.
So put that in your pipe and smoke it.
Yep.
Anyway, let's move on.